Namaskar. This is Pratim Ranjan Bose, and you are watching Podcast with Pratim. I'll do another episode on West Bengal. My viewers would be right in accusing me of doing for an overload of West Bengal related podcasts on this platform for last 3-4 weeks. While I appreciate their point of view, but I'm doing it for a reason. As you are aware, that a new government has taken assumed power in West Bengal after on May 9. So this has just been 10 days in power. And this is after 50 years that the same party is in power, both in the center and the state. That is actually an inconsequential development. Why I am focusing on West Bengal is for far more graver reasons. For your understanding, West Bengal is today India's most strategic state. That is, after it had resolved the militancy in the northeast, it had resolved the Naxalite issues that created trouble across Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, etc. We have resolved Khalistani issues long ago. And very recently, we brought some major changes in Kashmir issues. After the bifurcation of the Kashmir state and ensuring connectivity to Ladakh bypassing Kashmir, we are now strategically far more secured on the northern and the western border. But that's not the case with West Bengal. It connects 8% of India's landmass, that is Northeast India. The Northeast India, as you are aware, contributes roughly 40% odd boundary that India has over 3,000-kilometer land boundary with China, and roughly 30-40% comes from only Northeast. That apart, it has a 1,700-kilometer long border with Myanmar and roughly 2,000 odd kilometer border with Bangladesh. A new volcanic geography that had emerged. I mean, we will discuss at some other point of time that I strongly believe Bangladesh will be a long-term problem in the region. At least that is the indications that it is showing. So why West Bengal once again? Now, to do that, let me tell you, for such a strategic state, as I said, the most strategic state, West Bengal was literally out of the control of the federal government, because West Bengal was being run by or at the interest of various unconstitutional forces, foreign interests, which had been very active, whether you call it the Five Eyes or or China, Pakistani ISI, the coming through the Jamaati Islamist connection with Bangladesh. And so all put together, it was a concern for the nation that West Bengal is not under the control of the nation, is not under the thumb of the nation, which it should be. In fact, going forward, I'll welcome a situation, as it is a case in Northeast India, that Northeast India tilts to the party that is in power in Delhi. So going forward, I will always welcome a situation where West Bengal is ruled only by the national parties, whosoever are in, that limit the regional aspirations, which is a classic case where the regional aspirations gone diametrically or dramatically against the national interests. To give you one sample reference, the government of West Bengal under Mamata Banerjee replaced the emblem, national emblem, that is the Ashoka Stambha, that is what we call, by a state emblem. It is very significant. Why did she do that? Both should have coexisted. That is how there are many in Europe and many other places. Cities have their own logos, so that go alongside the national logo. But why the hell an Indian state removed the national emblem in its official letterhead and put a state emblem? Was it to signify the distinction or difference with the nation? And for, as you are aware, West Bengal government under Mamata Banerjee was operating as an enemy state. Yes, you heard it right. It was almost like an enemy state. So that said, in fact, someone today, a blogger, so who had been interviewing me, questioned that what is the difference between Mamata Banerjee and Shubhendu Adhikari government of BJP. So I said that I'm not going to compare, I'm not going to use Mamata Banerjee as any scale. You ask me to compare with any other chief ministers, I will. And unfortunately, it is very unfortunate for such a state that and actually the blame should go on us, whosoever the Bengalis. West Bengal, the second chief minister of the state, Dr. Bidhan Roy, who had been in power for more than a decade, he belonged to Congress. So he visualized a modern state, a very developed state. He went on, West Bengal had some inherent problems, and that time the partition had just taken place. So he went on to fill up those gaps, and he wanted to see West Bengal at the top of industry and at the top of prosperity chart, which it was till 1961-62. We were India's second most prosperous state in terms of industry, in terms of per capita income, you take any measure. And then a secular fall. Siddhartha Shankar Roy government of Congress saved the state, literally saved the state from going down the drain during the Naxalite problems, and there was the liberation struggle in Bangladesh. So those people, the 1 crore refugees were in India, hell lot of arms were flowing around. And Siddhartha Shankar Rai kept it together. He crushed the Naxalite movement, the ultra-leftist movement, and kept it an integral part of the nation. Don't underestimate the ultra-leftists. They raised a slogan that the chairman of China is our chairman. You can understand how secessionist it was. We have never seen a more secessionist force than the ultra-left. So that said, we are, after that, the next good chief minister who had a vision, who wanted to, on the development side, the economic development side, who had thought for it, was Buddhadev Bhattacharya. But unfortunately, he didn't have the political capacity to pull it through. He had a vision, he had good intentions, but intention without ability makes little sense. So he crash landed. Jyoti Basu was a much hyped and very wrongly hyped chief minister. He stayed in power for nearly 2.5 decades, doing nothing. He was status quoist. You can well understand where the left CPIM had left us. In 2011, roughly 55%, 45% people in the state didn't have, let me put it very technically. So as per the census reports, 45% people were not using electricity as the prime source of lighting. And there was a leftist government in power for 34 years. I'm talking after that. So that said, what had happened now? The first and the biggest change that has come is India is in control of West Bengal. Just today, the Shubhendu Adhikari government of BJP handed the federal government 120 acres of land at the Siliguri corridor. As you are aware, a barely 20-30 kilometer wide corridor is, keeps Northeast together with India. If you snap this, gone. So this is extremely strategic place, and it is it is in serious trouble. That it was for many reasons. It was a major smuggling corridor. It was a major illegal immigration corridor. A huge demographic change had been taking place there. It was source of some Trinamool MP or MLA almost. I mean, it was almost someone wanted to establish Sharia laws over there, kind of. So it is not. So today maybe I don't know why did they hand over the land? Probably for some security establishment or something. 120 acres is not a very big land. So, but they had handed it over. So that's a big change that is coming. India is back on the steering wheel of West Bengal. And what that means for us, it means West Bengal is back in the reckoning in the national politics. West Bengal is back in the talking points in the nation. West Bengal will henceforth contribute for national good, and West Bengal henceforth should be the prime attention, should enjoy the prime attention of the nation, because such a strategic state is living in such poverty. It is 24th from the, it is fourth or fifth from the bottom in the list of per capita income, relative per capita income, which means whosoever is how much lower than the average per capita income. So sad. It is a sad story. So that is a big change that has come. And if the government is only 10 days old, so not big things can be, it is not time for telling anything big about the government, but a couple of things are very, very encouraging. The government ensured at least statements, clear-cut statements, that the police, henceforth, police must act irrespective of class, creed, and party color. That's a big change for a state which has been referred by the social scientists as a party community, where people belong to parties, almost like the slaves of parties. So that, I mean, where from the vote bank comes in. So that's a big change that has come in the attitude, and the government has been clearing the encroachments. The Jyoti Basu government, the leftist governments, so they did not make the state prosperous. They made it poorer, and while making it poorer, they created some kind of very flawed logic that the poor can come in the name of poverty. They can come and sit anywhere, and in the process they can destroy the entire city. They can you can all the railway platforms were heavily encroached. Passengers cannot move. Modern amenities cannot be provided to the passengers. So you created a serious developmental hurdle, and mind you, poor did not gain out of it. It was actually these party goons. They controlled those. They actually sold those slices of land, slices of public space to some people. So it was a money making. It was, these parties used to run on rentals from various people, all from illegal activities. The illegality has been the legal. Illegality has been the mainstream over here. Or the rickshaws has been running. The auto rickshaws has been running without proper registration. They are paying tax to the party. So everywhere it is all run by the illegal economy has been much bigger than the legal economy. So the new government has been indicating that it is going to establish the legal economy over the illegal. And that's a big thing that has come. It is just as I said, it's only 10 days, but we are seeing certain very, very strong signals they are giving to ensure that the rule of law is upheld. So I believe that's, to start with, that's a big, big change that has come, and it has all put together, it will have serious geopolitical impact. West Bengal, a strong West Bengal, that is controlled by the center means a major change in the calculations of the forces that has been playing over here. So if there is any backlash, that will happen because the forces might be unhappy with this stability and strong, a muscular state that is taking over the land. We are unfortunate. It's a part of India, but I'm treating it almost as out of India. So that's it. Thank you for watching podcast with Pratim. I hope we will go to any other subject next time.